If you follow my channel, you know that this month I will be looking at all the Doctor Who Christmas specials by Doctor and ranking them. Last week I did David Tennant, so this week of course follows Matt Smith. Here we go, without further ado. The Time of the Doctor from 2013. Unlike Tennant's finale, which I thought was a reasonably good end to this era, I find this one a bit disappointing overall. While the idea of the Doctor protecting this town until the end of his life sounds good on paper, it's honestly, in execution, kind of a bit boring, surprisingly. The Doctor sits around while we see Cybermen, again, Daleks, again, Sontarans, again. Seeing multiple monsters in a story used to be a special thing. Remember the excitement when the Army of Ghosts Cliffhanger came out? Or when River Song started rattling off everything from the Daleks to the Pteroleptils and the Pandorica Opens? Then Moffat started doing it again and again, and honestly it's gotten a little tiresome, especially since Chibnall picked up on it, and it's become even more tiresome, not gonna lie. Also, it doesn't help that this has a pretty horrible start with those dumb nudity jokes and another kind of annoyingly written River Song copycat. To be not entirely negative, there are some things I like about it. Seeing Matt Smith play an old man after acting old his entire era was kind of cool. Also, I really appreciated that Moffat decided to address the whole final regeneration thing. I mean, I wasn't going to be completely upset if it was never addressed, I suppose, but I really hoped they would, because I always thought it would be an interesting story point, and I thought this was a really good way to do it, with the Time Lords being so appreciative they sent him another set. It was something that had been in the canon for years as the most obvious choice. Why Chibnall then decided to mess with all of that perfect setup and resolution, I will never know, but we'd better get on before it turns into another angry rant about the Timeless Child. The Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe from 2011. I get the idea a lot of people don't like this one, but as is often the case, I do seem to like a lot of things that the majority of people don't. I'm not saying it's one of the greatest stories ever told, it's not particularly grand or epic, but I like that about it. It's kind of like a little side adventure the Doctor has, putting together all these surprises for this woman and her kids as a grateful gesture for helping him. Kind of feels like one of those small adventures I would imagine the Doctor would normally have off screen between episodes. And whether that's what Moffat was going for or not, I really like the idea. It just fits somehow with just a fun Christmas adventure. I also like the Narnia references, the naturally occurring live Christmas trees are a fun idea. As I've said before, I appreciate when a Christmas episode is Christmas, and this is very Christmas. Even the ending, which is a bit cheesy, the cheesiness feels very Christmas to me. I would rather have a heartfelt, somewhat silly ending than a downer, like with the father dying and stuff. That may be more real or something, but it's Christmas. I don't want real, I want fun, heartfelt happiness. Overall, yeah, not a perfect episode, but a really fun one nonetheless. Oh, and it has that little cool callback to the Caves of Androzani. Yeah, moving on. The Snowmen from 2012. Featuring the iconic Richard E. Grant and the possibly even more iconic Ian McKellen as Dr. Simeon and the Great Intelligence, respectively. This one, of course, also saw the return/introduction of the Paternoster Gang and the return of Jenna Louise Coleman as the mysterious Clara Oswin Oswald. Man, what a packed episode. When you put it with all those things together, sounds like it could be in danger of being a little too packed. Kind of like a Chibnall episode. But it's not. All of that, in fact, is in service of not only the story, but also serves as an intriguing introduction to the Clara mystery that pervaded the second half of Series 7. Yeah, I really enjoy this one. Paternoster Gang is fun as always. Technically, I think I would call this their introduction, as I suppose they weren't really fully formed yet when the characters were introduced in A Good Man Goes to War. But yeah, they're always fun. I think Strax gets a few good laughs here. Personally, I even kind of like the Thomas joke. It's a terrible joke, yes, but if you've seen my Halloween or Christmas countdowns, you know I love terrible puns. And if you haven't seen those, you should check me out on Facebook or Instagram. Links in the description below. I also like the very Moffat idea of snow and ice being brought to life as something evil. It was great to see the Great Intelligence. Oh, and another favorite scene, I love when Clara follows the Doctor up the ladder. That whole thing of the TARDIS being on the cloud. Moffat's whole era had this wonderful fairy tale vibe all throughout it, and honestly, that's one of the things I really liked about it. Kinda miss it, not gonna lie. A Christmas Carol from 2010. Back in late 2010, everyone was excited to discover what Moffat and Smith's first Christmas special would be like. Or at least I was. I can't speak for everyone. It was the first time, after all, we'd had one not starring Tennant and not written by RTD. What I don't think anyone did expect was Doctor Who's own adaptations of sorts of Charles Dickens' Christmas classic. Personally, it's not something I ever would have thought of, but I think it's brilliant. It's one of my favorite Christmas tales, and yeah, it is a time travel story after all, so why not do it? Of course, there were ways it could have gone wrong, but it didn't because it's just so well written. I love the moment where the Doctor gets the idea from the Christmas Carol interrupting the call and him having to shout, "It's a Christmas Carol!" Like, there are many ways that could have been done, maybe just seeing the book lying around somewhere or missing or something, but something about the way they did it just seems clever. I love the idea of the Doctor having to change this guy's life in order to save Amy and Rory. It's just like, he's got time travel, so why not do it? It's pretty brilliant in my opinion. I love the idea of the fish swimming around in the sky. It's a ridiculous concept that would only work in a science fiction show like Doctor Who, one that has fantastical elements, especially in this era. Yeah, the episode is humorous, heartfelt, touching, fantastical, and very, very Christmassy. And that song Katherine Jenkins sings at the end is just fantastic too. Everyone does a great job. Michael Gambon as the Scrooge character is brilliant. It's definitely the best Matt Smith Christmas special in my book, and maybe even one of the best of all of them. So what did you guys think of my list? What's your ranking of Matt Smith's Christmas specials? Let me know in the comments below, and join me next time when I rank the Peter Capaldi Christmas specials.